Hello everyone and welcome to my survival world. This is just playing Minecraft with me, myself and I, Henry, you. I don't know if this is going to be a forever world, but it's definitely a long-term world. Now this video is a little catch-up special for those of you that enjoy the longer videos on YouTube. Sometimes some people don't like to watch shorter episodes, and that is more than okay. So in this video we are combining the first couple of episodes, the first 500 days of this Minecraft world, and as you can see surrounding me, this is a blank world, and in this video you are invited to join me on the journey of building it up to something more spectacular. Now, as a general rule, I don't like to ask for subscriptions, but this time I would like you to remember to hit that subscribe button if you enjoy this video, because generally during my videos I don't really ask for that too much, and we are heading to 1,000 subscribers. I've just passed like 538 if I'm correct. And anyway, that's enough of me mumbling about. Enjoy the video. Let's start off with episode 1. Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. My name is Henry Yu, and if you are looking for some mostly vanilla gameplay, you are at the right place. Now let me just start off by telling you a little bit of something about myself. I have been playing Minecraft for just about 13 years, but, and I need to stop using buts, but anyway, I still consider myself a noob. Yes, that's true. In the 13 years that I've played this game, I've never killed the Ender Dragon, fought the Wither, or had netherite anything in survival. But I'm going to change that in this world, in this series, that doesn't have a name yet, but I guess some of my subscribers could come up with a name for the series. Only if I had any subscribers. Anyway, you might be the first, so hit that subscribe button if you think you might be interested in following the journey with me. Now, we need to get started, and one of my main priorities in this series is going to get diamond everything as soon as possible, because I tend to take about 500 in-game days to get to diamond. No, not in this one. I'm going to see if I can rush it. Now, if I quickly have a look around the spawn area here, we've got a village right there, which is going to make the search for diamonds take second seat for now, because I'm going to have to secure these villages before I do anything else. We've also got plenty of horses and some beautiful scenery, and more horses, and a lava pool right here at spawn. Now, some of you might recognize this spawn, and if you do, leave a comment and tell me what you think. Which spawn is this? Because if you watch a lot of Minecraft content on YouTube, or Twitch for that matter, you might already know where I got this spawn from. Anyway, let's go and see what is available in that little village close by, and when we're done there, we're going to run and find a cave or a ravine or something where we can find a few diamonds. The village loot did not disappoint. And now that I do have a little bit of armor and the villages are secured, I've got a little bit of food, I think it's time to go and see if we can find those juicy diamonds. And this ravine seems to be the perfect spot to go down and see if we can find anything worth having. Alright everyone, now that we are fully kitted out in diamonds, I think we need to look at the next objectives that I need to get to as soon as possible. Now, I would like to breed a few villagers, which I think we can do in the village. I need to set up a very basic iron farm, because you can never have too much iron, especially this early on in the game. And then most importantly, I need to get some food, because as you can see, my saturation bar is almost halfway depleted, and the only food I've got that I can eat at the moment is sweet berries. Oh, I've got a few apples as well, but that's not going to last long. Now, I do have a potato, I've got a few carrots, I've got beetroot seeds, I've got wheat seeds, and I've got pumpkins. So, I guess we can start off with getting the food situation sorted. Looking in the free cam, I think we can flatten this area out for a few basic early game food farms, and then once that is sorted, we can start dealing with the villagers and the iron farm. So let me go ahead and see how much of this I can use, but maybe I don't need to flatten too much too soon, because I think this area right here looks like a pretty decent size for our very early food farms. So maybe we should get going with that before too much time passes and I starve of hunger. Alright everyone, the food situation is under control. As you can see, we've got crops and they are thriving. Now, I have been busy while growing these crops, and yes, we are making progress on all our objectives. The first one, let me go over and show you where we're going to build the iron farm, and I've done some preparations. The area you see behind me, I think, is going to work for the iron farm. I hope I measured everything correctly, because where these path blocks are is where the iron golems should be able to spawn if we have our villagers and zombie in this area right here. Now, I have been lucky enough to get a zombie captured. And so our little zombie is safe inside, and he shouldn't be able to hurt our villagers if we get them installed on these 3 beds over here. I do also have these lecterns here because I would like these villagers to become librarians and maybe give us a few good books. Now, further progress that I have made is to dig out a little area where our villagers are going to be making babies. And if we turn the corner around here, we've got 2 villagers in here. I don't know. Oh my! We've got 4 villagers in here, and this one is ready to work. It's already in its little hole. Wow, this is awesome. 4 beds, 4 villagers. I will need to come and get a few more beds for these guys. Maybe expand the area a little in this direction so that they can make even more babies. But we will get back to them once we've got the iron farm going, because that is our priority number 1 for now. So yeah, we need to get 2 villagers into the iron farm. We can breed the 3rd one. Now, I do have good luck with me on today, because these 2 houses, I've got a villager in here, which is a librarian, but I don't care, he's going to lose his job and become a librarian again once he's in the iron farm. And then over on this side we've got another one locked up securely. This one is a cleric who will unfortunately have to become a librarian as well, but we can keep the work block and we can make our own clerics later on. So that's what needs to be done next, and I have fortunately thought ahead and made a nice path where we could row them with boats up to the iron farm area. It ain't pretty, but it works. As you can see behind us is an iron golem getting incinerated, and once it dies, it will leave us with a few pieces of iron and maybe a poppy or 2. Now this hasn't been running for too long, but if we come down and look in this chest, you'll see we've got almost a stack and a half of iron. In fact, we've probably got around about 2 stacks of iron and a few poppies to boot. Now the way that this iron farm works is we've got the villagers and the zombie underneath the spawning platform. The iron golem will spawn on this platform, the water stream will push it down with its head into the lava, and it will get incinerated, making a very, very big noise. Once the golem passes, we get a few iron blocks. Now, this farm isn't perfect. As you can see, we've got a few pieces of iron and a poppy hovering here on the side, which isn't being collected. Now, underground, you will see we've got our 3 villagers and our zombie that keeps scaring the villagers so that they can call for reinforcements and spawn an iron golem. Now, the final piece of the puzzle for today's episode is getting the villager trading going, because I need some emeralds so that I can lock the ideal trades with these villagers underneath the iron farm. Now, this has taken me quite a while to build. Even though it is a simple concept, I kept messing it up. But nonetheless, it's working, and now we can get to the villagers. So we've got a few villagers bred up and ready to become employees. Now, for a start, I would like to get 7 employees going, and the first one would be a farmer villager. Maybe we could trade some crops and pumpkins with the farmer. Then we would also like to have a cleric, as redstone and rotten flesh trades could come in handy. We want a smithing table for a toolsmith, a fletcher with a fletching table. The blast furnace will give us an armorer. The weaponsmith we can get with a grindstone, and then a stone mason with the grindstone, or with the stone cutter at least. So these are the 7 villages we want to get going right now, because we need to find emeralds, or at least make some emeralds. So let's get going and see if we can get these villagers employed. Now I do have enough of these villagers grown up to become employees, so I'm just going to place the work blocks in these little stalls. Now, honestly speaking, I'm not one for getting keeping the villagers locked up like this, but for now, for the early game, we are going to do that. And we are going to just use trapdoors and fence gates to keep them in their areas. So the farmer is in his area, we've got the cleric in his area, we've got the toolsmith in his area. And finally, we've got all our workers in their little working spaces for now. Now, we need to see what we can trade with them so that we can level them up and get some emeralds. Alright, and that's enough of that. We've got 39 levels, and I think now it's the time for us to start trying to get an enchanting table so that we can at least enchant our gear. And yeah, because we need to prepare to do some building eventually in the next episode, not this one. But let's see if I can find enough books for a full enchanting table, and then we can use some of these levels to enchant our gear. But first I must see if I can look in some good trades with the villagers down in the iron farm. Alright, so these guys behind me has got a few good trades for us. I spent some time trying to get a few awesome trades, but the most important one is mending, and we so do have that. Let's have a quick little look. So Isidro, the first villager, is a fortune 3. Now I have spent some time trading with him, and unfortunately he's got Curse of Vanishing, which we will not be able to use. But we can get lanterns from him, and that's a bonus. Next up we've got Gerald. Gerald is our mending trader. For 26 emeralds the price is a little bit steep, but I think we can work with that, because how many of these do we actually really need? Frostwalker for 56 emeralds. Don't think I'm gonna use that anytime soon. And then we've got Kindra. Kindra is trading Silk Touch for 9 emeralds and also lanterns and paper. So these trades will be very useful in the future. But now I guess it's time to sort of try and use these levels that I've got for some enchanting. So I have spent a little bit of time gathering the bookshelves and getting things ready to do the enchanting, and I think I am ready to give it a go. So let's see what we can get with these levels that I've got on me. Well, now that wasn't too bad at all. In fact, I think this enchanting table in this world of ours have been pretty decent to me. The sword, nothing too spectacular, but I've got a silk touch pickaxe with efficiency 5 and unbreaking 3, and I've got a fortune pickaxe with efficiency 5 and unbreaking 3. Also got silk touch and efficiency and unbreaking on my axe, so I would say that is a pretty decent start. Now I did go out and explore a little bit around the base to see just what we have around us. I did meet up with a few pillagers, and let's just say that they were no match for me in my diamond armor. Then, looking for some coal underground, I found this little skeleton spawner that is really not underground at all. It is basically almost on the surface. Now that could be a nice source of experience and bone meal. After that, I started fencing up an area because I've got an idea as to what I would like to do. But to find out more about that, you will need to maybe just come back for the next episode, because I've got plans and this world seems to be very, very good to me. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please remember to leave a like, and maybe if you subscribe you could be my very, very first subscriber. Until next time, happy exploring, happy gaming and happy mining. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye. Well, hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I've been busy between episodes and I've started digging out this pit behind me. Now, what is the purpose of this pit, you may ask? And, well, I've been having this idea for about half a year now of something I want to do, but let's not just get into that right now. Anyway, we've been digging out this pit and I've gathered quite a few resources, and with the luck we've had with our enchanting setup, I used my silky smooth pickaxe with silk touch and gathered all the materials without fortuning them, because I thought maybe, just maybe, we can wait with that until you are back with me. And we've gathered quite a few resources. As you can see, I've just stacked them up all over there. And in the meantime, I've also been practicing my water bucket clutch, and I'm not very good at it, but let's see if we can get a successful clutch done. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go! Oh, wow, I've got it! I got it first time! Well, with editing, you might not know whether or not it was the first time, but believe me, it was my first time. And if you believe me, please hit that subscribe button. I promise this journey is going to get awesome along the way. Now, all these resources I've gathered from the pit so far. As you can see, the iron hasn't been too much, lapis only 3 blocks, coal and copper has been very, very plentiful in this endeavor so far. But before we start fortuning these, there's a few other things we need to get started with. So in today's episode I want to start getting a few automated things going. Maybe a smallish auto smelter, something with the farms as well. I have to do some automation with these farms as well because harvesting everything, all these crops by hand is definitely not fun. Now to help us with that, I have brought two villagers from the village over there, and I've just locked them up in a little dirt house right here. And if we quickly open them up, because I did try and breed them, but it seems that they still remember their beds from the village, so I might need to go to the village and break all the beds just to have these guys reset. Otherwise, I might have to just put these guys in boats and take them further away from the village. But I guess I will try and break the beds first. Before we get to that, though, I have dug out this area surrounding the spawner that we found in the last episode, and this will be perfect for a little skeleton farm. Now, in order to do that, I may need to go to the nether first, and I think that might be our first objective for this episode. We're going to need to find a space where we can put a nether portal so that we can go to the nether and find some soul sand. And while we are there, we could just as well collect some quartz as well, because quartz and redstone goes together like, well, like bread and peanut butter if you're into that sort of thing, which I'm not. Peanut butter, I guess peanuts are the worst nuts out there, and I don't know how anybody could call a peanut a nut. It just doesn't work for me. Now the location of this skeleton spawner is quite convenient. Not too far from the base, because the village is right over there and our base is right over there, and it's really not that much of a trek to get here, but it is still an inconvenience without any proper forms of transport. But anyway, I should get started, and I think the first thing we need to do is see if we can make that little quick nether trip. And the nether is a scary place, but at least I've got my diamond gear. And just like that, we've got the nether portal sorted out, and I guess it's time for us to jump in and see if we can get some nether quartz and soul sand, because those are the two most important things we want from the nether right now. At least I've got these golden leggings with protection 3, and I've got my bow with power 2 and almost a stack of arrows to protect us from those nasty ghosts in the nether. Now I hope it doesn't take too long to find the nether quartz and the soul sand, but if it does, we're just gonna have to stick it out. No point in waiting any longer, let's jump right in. Well, this looks ominous, but it looks relatively safe, and I can see loads and loads of quartz. Now we're just going to need to find some soul sand as well. Okay, everyone, the Nether is never a fun experience. But we got what we went there for, and it wasn't too much of hassle. A little bit of bugging from the cars floating all over the place, but I took them out, and I even got the return to sender achievement. Now, let's have a look at what we've brought home. I've got almost 3 stacks of nether quartz ore, and we're going to fortune them to see how much we can get. I've got over 2 stacks of glowstone, which isn't that awesome because we do have a villager that can trade us glowstone. And then we've also got a stack and a half, almost 100 soul sand, which I believe will be able to get us quite a little bit into what we are planning to do. But now, let's go and see how many nether quartz we can get from all of these ores. Over 6 stacks of nether quartz! That's awesome, and that's going to last us quite a little bit of time. Now, let me go and see what we can take on next, because I think we need to set up a little bit of a auto smelter to deal with all these copper and coal blocks. But I guess before we get into that, let's fortune this coal and copper. And when we're done with that, we might set up our little auto smelter. Over 4 stacks of coal? That's awesome! Now for the copper. And the copper gave us over 10 stacks? Oh, that's awesome! Now, I think the iron I'm going to leave, but the lapis, I don't have a lot, but I'll just go and fortune that as well. And with all the fortuning done, I think it's time so that we actually start making progress on our automation systems. The first thing I would like to do is a little smelter, an auto smelter of sorts, but a very tiny one. I guess 2 furnaces and a few chests and opus is going to do the trick here. So let me quickly get that set up, and then we can move on to the next project, which would be to start automating the crop farms. And bada bing, bada boom, I've got a few things to show you. I set up 3 small little farms. First of all, I've got the auto smelter set up with a few pressure plates so that I can stand on the pressure plate and take out something so that we can get the experience from this little automatic smelter. Then we've also set up a little lava farm, which the lava at the top with the dripstone dripping into the cauldrons, and eventually they fill up with lava because I decided I'm going to use this lava for fuel for the furnace setup. Then finally we set up a little automatic bone meal production for all this poppies that we are getting from the iron farm. Now I will take all these poppies and go turn them into bone meal, or maybe just not all of them. I might need them for something else a little later. But as you can see, the lava farm is starting to produce as well. Awesome stuff. Now the poppies, we can just pop them all in here, and they will eventually be turned into bone meal. Not very efficient, but it doesn't matter because they are pretty useless for anything else. Now getting into the next part of the plan, I'm thinking right over here we can start setting up our first little automated farm using villagers. I believe those guys in there should have made babies by now. And yes, maybe we should just fill up that water over there and then we can start putting a farm or two together so that we can get automated crops going. If those guys hasn't made any babies yet, I think I'll go and yoink those two out from between the cows. Now that is carrots and beetroot sorted out. We just need to do another little farmhouse like this for wheat and potatoes. Nothing too stressful, and I think this behind me, the sugarcane, is going to have to move because I think that's going to be the ideal location for the other two crop farms. Now I was going to fill in this little watered area right here, but I decided that I could rather just expand this little river so that we've got a waterway coming through, but that will be a future project. So for now, I think the next step is moving this sugarcane to a more suitable location so that we can build the other farm right on this side, and that will sort out our basic crop farms. Maybe build a little storage area for them later on, but for now I'm focusing on the crops. So once I've got the wheat and the potatoes in, I'm going to need to see about automating the growing and harvesting of pumpkins and melons, because we all know that is where the real emerald profits is in. Well, apologies for the noise, but I've gone and done it. Wheat farm and potato farm. All the farms, or all the crop farms at least, are in and done, and most of them are starting to produce crops for us automatically without me having to do anything. Like seriously, I don't need to do anything other than collecting the crops and trading the crops away with villagers. And this, while I've been building, has been doing pretty well. Because just have a look at how many emeralds I've got so far. And then I've also got almost a stack of iron blocks because this little iron farm of ours, oh boy, has it been producing. I guess I'm going to have to take another stack of iron blocks out of it. And a stack of iron blocks. This is awesome. I guess we are pretty soon not going to be in need of any more resources. But anyway, let me run down here and show you the collection system for the crops that I've set up. Now I've just got, this is going to be transformed and look much better later on. Here you can see the little minecart trying to collect all the crops that this wheat farmer up top drops. And there's nothing in this chest yet because he is the latest villager I have introduced to the program and his inventory is probably not full yet. This side we've got the potatoes and you can see the potatoes are starting to flow in. when we run down a little bit further, we'll get to the carrot crops, which you can see, and I have traded some of these carrots already, and you can see they are flowing in as well as the beetroot. So everyone, I think that is what I've got time for today. Our little crop farms have come along nicely, they are growing, they are producing, and that is the first thing that we really urgently needed to set up. Now next time, I think I might look into pumpkins and melons. Or maybe we'll go and do a little bit of something at the skeleton spawner that I found. We could also set up a little something for the sugarcane and the bamboo. Or something for the trees for farming wood. So many possibilities and so many things to do. I can honestly not say what we will be doing in the next episode, so you will just have to come back and join me for the adventure. Now that I'm looking at the village behind me, maybe we will start changing things at the village. As I said, so many things to do, so little time, but you will have to join me next time. Remember to leave a like to this video if you did enjoy it, and I guess if you've come this far in the video, you could just as well subscribe, because you spent quite a little bit of time with me by now. Anyway, and I will see you in the next one. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Now, let's have a little bit of a talk. Beginning a new Minecraft world, oh boy, the grind is just terrible. I guess it is enjoyable, which is I think why the 2-week Minecraft phase is such a in thing these days, but honestly speaking, we've been playing for, let's see, 196 days, almost 200 days in this world, and what have we achieved? Yes, I do have full diamond kit, I do have pretty decently enchanted diamond tools, my bow is getting there, I need to start working on my armor, but that will come, these villagers are going to really be very helpful in that. Just have a look here, if we go into the free cam, what have we achieved in 200 days? We've got our little iron farm, which is producing plenty of iron. I'll show you just now how many I've got already. We've got a little lava farm, we've got our auto smelter, bone meal maker, enchanting setup, and we've got these farms that's producing quite a bit of crops. But seriously, shouldn't we have done more in 200 days? I don't know. Anyway, while I was walking around here decorating the wheat farmer's place, I kept hearing this zombie and skeleton, and for the longest time I couldn't figure out where it came from. But I think I have an idea now. Because there's no way down here where they could spawn. The only place I could think of is up in this roof. So I think let's go up there and have a little look-see. Now, I do have my scaffolding with me, and I think we can just do this. Right in that piece of the roof, I think. These little buggers are... Ouch. Let's try again. Right in that piece of the roof, I think these little buggers are spawning. And I think let's just quickly open it up and... Ah, there you go, you see? Now, can I just jump in there and deal with them? There you go, all done. Now, I thought I did light it up here, but it seems that if I did, I didn't do it properly. So let's just put a torch or two, and then how are we going to break out of here? Let's just do this. Oh yes. Now I'm hearing more. Can there be more in here? I figured it out. Underneath this wheat farm up here, I've opened a little space to power the redstone rails, and I assume, by the sound of it, that might be where this little zombie is still hiding. Now, finding it shouldn't be too hard. We can just open up here, and there you go. There's the little zombie. Oh, that's where the little zombie was hiding, because now he is no more. But I guess the right thing to do would just be to put a little lighting up here as well, and then we can just close it up again. Ah, perfect, like nothing has happened. Now, while we are down here, you will notice that I have gone and maybe, what would I say, just dug out a little area here. And this just connects all 4 of the crop farms. The next step in this process would be to just connect all of them, maybe get a bit of a dropper system in to drop all these crops out and collect them at a central point. But I guess I'm going to need a little bit more redstone than what I've got at the moment. Now, as I was saying before I got interrupted with these zombie and skeleton noises, I have started decorating this insides of these homes a little bit. I've started off with the wheat farmer, and you can see a little bit of foliage outside. I expanded the wheat to grow a little bit of outside of the farm as well. And then inside we just got a few basic decorations, some wheat lying around on the floor, a few flower pots, a painting or two, just to make it feel a little bit more homely for our villager Winston, so that he can just feel more motivated to gather some crops for us. Continuing with a different project, this little pit behind me, as you can see, I've dug out a little more and I started crossing into caves and water and all that stuff. Now, last time I was practicing my water bucket clutch, jumping down here, and now I think I'm not confident in that anymore. This drop might just kill me if I miss my water bucket clutch, and I haven't died in this world yet, and I am definitely not planning to start right now. And next to me you can see my cute little kitty cat. Still need to find a name for this beauty. And, well, I have access to name tags from my villagers, but I'm not going to bother naming any of these two just yet. I still need to think of proper names. And finally, I also came in here and just set up a little bit of a skeleton farm with a spawner that we found here close to the surface. Now, this spawner definitely is not the fastest. I think there might be quite a bit of unlit caves around here. But eventually, you will start hearing the skeletons spawning, and they will start dropping into this little chute behind me. And I can just use my sword, get rid of them, and the looting on the sword gives me plenty of bones and arrows. Now, I don't have a lot of bones in here because I took a lot of them back to the base already. But this thing is at least giving me some bones and experience. But it is so slow. It's unbelievable how slow this thing is. There's another zombie coming, or another skeleton coming. Two more. Oh, what a bargain. Now let me deal with these two guys, and then I'll meet you back at the base, because I do need to decide what the next project is that I'm going to take on. Decisions. There's always another decision to be made in Minecraft. But I think I've decided that I should probably continue with what I've been doing and sort out these crop fields. Because pumpkins and melons, harvesting them by hand, or by axe for that matter, has become a tedious process. And since we got pretty much a lot of unused, wasted space behind me, underneath the iron farm, I'm thinking maybe we can get a pumpkin and melon farm installed right about here. So let me get working and see how far we can get, because ultimately we want to automate all our crops. And since this is already a noisy area here next to the wheat farm, I guess more noise behind me isn't going to make that much of a difference. So progress has been made, and progress has been sweet. Now, we are this far, but the next thing I will need to do is get some observers and pistons. By my calculations, I need just about 90 of each, and that might be a little bit of a problem. And you will never guess why it's a problem, but let me explain. To make pistons and observers, we need iron, we need cobblestone, we need planks, and we need quartz and redstone. Now, most of these items are not a problem at all. We've got plenty of quartz from our nether visit, and thanks to our little villager, Alva, down here, we've got plenty of redstone to go around. But the one thing I need, and I feel a little embarrassed and ashamed to say it, is the cobblestone. I am probably about 8 stacks of cobblestone short to make the observers. Now really, that's not a problem, because we can just go down here into this pit behind me and dig up a couple of stacks of cobble, which is, I guess, the next thing I need to do. And just like that, we've got all the materials that we need. So let's see if we could quickly craft all of these into the resource that we so dearly need. Observers done. Now for the pistons. And we are ready to go and install these and get that pumpkin and melon farms going. Alright everyone, so the pumpkin and melon farm is in and working and producing quite efficiently. It is noisy, but it's the stock standard pumpkin and melon farm with pistons and observers. The observer detects when the pumpkin has grown or the melon has grown, and then the piston just squashes it, and underneath is this noisy railway system that just picks up all the goodies. Now if you follow me down, I did adjust this tunnel system at the bottom a little bit. You can see I've removed all the lanterns, I've hidden the lighting behind the walls here, and if we just have a little look-see here, we can see the railway system. The cart is running nicely. I've got a strip of hoppers to collect the goodies from the railway cart, and just have a look at how productive it has been. Really awesome stuff. But now, if you look at this chest is already halfway full, and it's not been that long. So we are going to run into storage system problems pretty quickly if I don't do something about it. And the idea I've got is to build a little bit of a silo right here. Now it's quite big and it's cutting into the iron farm right here, but I think that will be perfectly okay. We will just need to make sure that there's no spawnable spaces over here for the iron golems to spawn, and not spawn in the kill chamber over there. Now I guess I would need to get going with this little side project, but I think, honestly speaking, with all the item sorters and things I want to put in it, I'm going to need more redstone, because my redstone is a little limited after making all those observers. And trading for redstone with our little villager friend there is a little bit limiting, to say the least. So I will need to find more redstone, and that means I might just need to go and dive into the caves again a little bit. Because over here in the pit, I still have to go down about 20 more levels to get to where redstone starts generating, and that's not going to happen anytime soon. Even though I need to come down here and just tidy this up, I just dug out all the cobblestone from here to enable me to make the observers and the pistons that I needed for the pumpkin farm. Anyway, let me get gathering, finding some redstone. I don't know how many I'll need, but maybe let's see if I can find 2 stacks of ores, and then we can just fortune it and get a few of those precious red dust. Alright everyone, this has been a mission and a half to complete. Now, it's not pretty, definitely not, but it works. We've got storage for about 20,000 of every crop. Now, that is going to take a long time to fill up. Because these farms of ours aren't super quick, but I mean, they will serve the purpose. Hello, get out of my shot. Go away. Anyway, so it's not pretty, but let me run you through it quickly. It all starts down here underneath our little crop farms, where I have installed a few water streams to help us transport the items, or the crops. Now, I'm just going to drop the scaffolding in here, because we haven't set up the dropper systems yet, and that we'll have to wait for the next episode, because this one is starting to get a little bit long in the wind. But anyway, once the crops drop in here, the water stream will pick it up, and through a series of ice and signs, the crops will flow all the way to the end of the water stream, up to a little area right here, underneath there where we set up a bubble elevator to transport the crops upwards into the automatic item sorter. The crops will then go up with the bubble column up to the top, tippity top right there, and let me show you here, you'll see our scaffolding, because yes, we did input an overflow system as well, because some of the farms, like the wheat farm, is going to have wheat, seeds and bone meal from time to time, and we don't want anything to clog up the system. At the top of the whole contraption, we've got a little bit of opaline which will catch all the crops that gets pushed up by the bubble column. The opaline will run over a series of 6 auto sorters. Melon slices, pumpkins, wheat, potatoes, beetroot and carrots will all get sorted into their respective little barrels, and that will start filling up the system through another series of hopper lines. I have used these pots just to use a little bit less hoppers, because geez, all the iron we've used to make this is ridiculous. Right here you will see a little contraption that is using the new crafters, and that will just take the melon slices and combine them into melons. If I can just drop a few melon slices in here, you will see the auto crafter just crafts them into melons and then pushes them into the opaline to be collected down underneath. And if we quickly run over here, I think this is the melon one, and you will see it creates melons ticking up as the melons come in. But that, my dear friends, is what we've got time for today, and in the next episode we will start off by maybe building a little silo around this contraption, because seriously, this is an eyesore. It's not very pretty, but at least it works. And now we will have a central point where we can collect all our crops. But before that will work, we need to install the dropper systems for each of these collection trays to drop the crops into the water streams so that they can be transported up to the sorting system. Now, if you got to this part of the video, I would assume that you have enjoyed it. And I would assume that by now you have hit that like button, and if you're not subscribed yet, please remember to do so. That way you can stay up to date and get notified whenever I release a new video. And the next one is going to be awesome because the droppers are going to get sorted out, and we are going to build a little silo surrounding that ugly contraption. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Goodbye. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well, because today I have a few things that I need to do, but before I do that, let's have a little chat. So, as I've said before, over the past 13 or so years that I've been playing Minecraft, I've played a lot of modded Minecraft. Well, mostly modded Minecraft. And I feel that even though there's a place for modded Minecraft, because there are some pretty awesome mods out there, it sort of takes away from the joy of just playing regular Minecraft. Take this contraption behind me, for example. Using mods, you could probably reduce the size of this by maybe 10 times less resources. But what's the fun in that? There's no real figuring things out or anything. Well, I guess there is figuring things out, but mods, or some mods, do make it so much easier. But anyway, getting into the joy of Minecraft, and I find that even though early game Minecraft is such a grind, it really is a grind, but it is enjoyable. And I think sometimes you just need to go back to basics to find the joy in everything in life. So, as a little example, I've been digging out this pit behind me, and boy oh boy, I cannot begin to tell you how therapeutic that is. Yes, it's a grind, even with efficiency tools and all that, it's still a grind, because, let's face it, I haven't had time to go and deal with the wither yet, so no beacons here. And to be honest, I am scared of the wither. I've never killed a wither in survival, even while playing modded Minecraft. And that's another thing about modded. There's a lot of things in the game you don't need to do because there's so much content, so many things to do. Now, to get to what we are planning for today's episode, behind me you can see a little small redstone contraption. So let's go and have a look at it. Now, this little contraption will allow our crops that we're harvesting there in the automated farms to be dropped into a water stream. So if we load anything into this dropper, it will just spit it out. Now, I like making the speed a little bit slower so that it just click, 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 and not go too fast. No real reason for that, it's just what I prefer, and that's the thing about this Minecraft world. I can do whatever I want, however I want it. But now I think the time has come for me to install these dropper systems into our little farming setup, so that we can start getting our resources up to the storage silo, because quite frankly, I am getting tired of coming down here and manually picking up all the items I want to trade and then going back upstairs to actually trade with the villagers. So let me get started. So I believe I've got all the resources that I need. I've got 5 comparators, 5 repeaters, 5 droppers. I've got a few blocks where I'll put the redstone on and some redstone. I believe this is enough. It's not a lot, but I'm sure it's enough. Oh, really? Just as I was about to start recording, it started raining. But anyway, we need to have a look at this because the dropper system is now fully operational. One concern, however, while there is a little bit of backup in the chests that's been collecting the items, there is a build up here which I'm just scared some of the things might, despawn at some point. So just to be safe, I've decided to place a little redstone torch to disable the hopper, and that will just mean we've got less things going in. At the moment, I've still got carrots and potatoes, and then the melons and pumpkins that needs to go in, but I think disabling the melons and pumpkins should, if we just have a look up there, if we just have a look up here, that should eventually, let's see now, as it doesn't seem to, is it getting less? Yeah, it's definitely getting less. So for now, we will just keep that disabled until either the potatoes or the carrots is done filtering through, then we will reactivate the pumpkin and melons. So if we have a look in these chests, we can see, okay, obviously those two, we haven't have them running, but potatoes you can see filling up nicely. Beetroot, I don't know, beetroot farms, are they slower than the rest? Or have I just been trading more beetroot? Uh, I definitely think beetroot farms are slower than carrots and potatoes. Then the carrot barrel is almost full, but not to worry, we've got enough storage. And then wheat, we've actually been getting wheat. Now, what I found, this sort of wheat farm is really, really slow to get going. But once it is going, it's halfway decent, I'd say. Now, another issue I've got is all these bloody, silly iron golems that, I don't know, why are they spawning so much? Is it because I'm close to the village? But I'm afraid that that might impact the speed of our iron farm. Not that it's slow or anything. Well, it is slow, but with us doing all the other things we've been doing, it is still filling up very nicely. But I think let's deal with these golems. Ah, that's better. I can deal with one of them being in this area. But we will have to see if there's more spawning and where they are coming from. because I just don't want it to affect the functionality of our iron farm. Now let's go have a look at how the sorting process is going, and then I noticed something at the iron farm that I need to check out as well. Now let's just go into the cheaty cam. It's still going strong, and as you can see, the potatoes and carrots are just filling up the space there, and I don't want it to... Wow, another iron golem just spawned. I don't want these to despawn. So, I don't know, maybe I should go and disable one of those, or we must go check how many is left in those chests down below. So before we go check out the iron farm, let's just go see how many potatoes and carrots are left in these chests. Okay, so the potato chest... Oh, this is wheat, isn't it? This is wheat. Potatoes is over here. So... let's just for a minute stop the potatoes as well. There's still carrots coming through. And... yes, okay. We'll leave the carrots going for now. And that looks better already. So the thing is that this is once all those backup chests has been depleted, this will be able to keep up. I think the reason why it's not keeping up is just because of all the backup, all the hours and hours of harvesting that these guys have been doing, that's been backed up in those chests. Now what I have noticed here at the iron farm is something that is really pleasing to see. Except for that not being collected. We can just grab that. I will fix this at some point. But let's open this chest and just have a look here. This iron chest is almost full again. And in this chest, just have a look at how many blocks of iron we've got. I seriously don't think we are going to even need that much iron through the series. Oh, wait. Maybe we'll need more, so let's just keep the farm running. I have been sleeping in this bed where my cat is, and every time I go to bed, I just let the cat roam free. Now, for most of the night, the cat sleeps on top of me. But we keep getting nice little goodies every morning we wake up. Like, I've got a few phantom membranes, rabbit hide, because I haven't killed any rabbits yet, and rabbit's feet, which we all got from the little kitty cat bringing us goodies every morning when we wake up. Ah, so the carrot chest is empty. Finally caught up. Now, let's... well, this chest is empty as well. Oh my, I placed this torch at the wrong place. I should have placed it up there to lock the hopper. But anyway, all's well that ends well. It seems that... well... oh, okay, I locked the dropper. Which is, it doesn't matter either or. But anyway, so this is almost done. So we can go, the wheat is empty. We can go and just let the melons and pumpkins run as well. And then we will be all caught up. Now this chest is quite full, so it's going to take a little while to run through. You will also notice this copper grate. I think it fits into the area quite nicely, but I don't know whether I want it to age or not. I think I'll give it a go and see what it looks like. We can always come back in with an axe to like de-age it and then use a little bit of honey to wax it. Let's go and have a look at how things are looking up top here. So, potatoes, almost a full barrel already. Carrots over a barrel. That's awesome news. So everyone, as our crops are finishing going up into the crop storage system, I need to start thinking about how we are going to prettify this. Make it just look a little bit better. Because this is an eyesore. It's functional, it's not pretty, but it does work pretty well. Now, let's see about how we can make it look a little bit better. So I haven't been building much in this series so far because I simply cannot decide on a good build palette that I'd like to use. So I've got an idea for what I want to do there in the village, but the first thing is we need to get this thing covered up. And the palette I was thinking of using diorite, stone and andesite. So if I just quickly do this and put these blocks next to each other. So diorite, andesite and stone. So these three blocks, they all seem to blend into each other. You can see right over there, right over there. There's quite a few pixels that does blend nicely into each other. And with the stone, you can also see with the andesite and stone, there's a few nice blending opportunities. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and use this to build up this silo of ours. How high it will go, who knows? Maybe, just maybe, we can do it a little bit with something like this. I think the height is really perfect, but I haven't had time to do much decorating on it yet, which I think needs to be done as soon as possible. But this is a silo, so it shouldn't be too decorative. But if we just jump into free cam, I think this looks really alright. I'm not 100% happy with the roof, so if you guys in the comments have any suggestions, please feel free to drop them. Even if you're not watching this episode on release, you can still drop them because this is Minecraft and we can change things anytime we want. So how about letting me know, and if I like the suggestion, we might just change it. If I pick your suggestion, right around here somewhere maybe, just slap a sign with your name on it. Then everybody watching this will know who made the suggestion. I guess now I need to try and figure out how to decorate this thing just to make it look a little bit better. As I said, no need to do too much. And then I need to decorate these houses as well. I've only did an interior for one of them, which is pretty basic, and I need to still do interiors for the other three farmers so that they can just have a little nicer way or a little nicer place so to call home, you know. So while building this, I also went out into the world to gather some occasional wood or saplings and a few propagules so that I can grow these mangrove trees. Now mangrove trees, oh my, they are a pain to chop down. But to make my life a little bit easier, I did go ahead and I don't have it in my inventory, but I did go ahead and get a few hoes, one with fortune, one with silk touch, just to help me deal with all the leaves. Now, little kitty, come, let's go to bed before the monsters come. So right now I'm going to try a little bit of a something to decorate our grain silo. And, well, while I'm standing here, can you see? We're almost down to deep slate level on our little pit. So that's also been coming along really nicely. But anyway, talking about it isn't going to change anything. Let me see if I can do a little bit of a something on that grain silo or crop silo of ours. And I think this little silo turned out really not too bad. But as I said earlier in the episode, if you've got any more ideas, please feel free to drop them in the comments and let me know what you think I can do to make it a little bit better. I've added some bushes around and a little bit of pumpkins and melons in the front. I've added these item frames, so I'm using the faster item frames mod, I think, for this, which allows you to color the background and also make your item frames invisible. So I'm really trying not to use too many mods, and especially not any mods that really changes too much of the gameplay. But that's it. I think that's what we've got for this episode today. And as I said, remember, leave a comment. Tell me what you think I should do to make this look even better, even though I think it's pretty cool as it is. And since it's a silo for our crops, I don't want to over decorate it, you know? And while you're down there in the comments, remember, if you enjoyed this, subscribe to the channel. That way you can stay up to date when I post any new videos. And if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like. So what I'm going to do between episodes is to maybe work on this path a little bit, maybe decorate those farmhouses inside a little bit, and I will catch you in the next one. Goodbye. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. If you remember last time, we worked on our silo for the crops. Now this thing is working really well. I do believe it's sufficient for our needs. The melons and the pumpkins, oh my word, the pumpkins. I keep emptying this out and every time I come back, the pumpkins are just all the way full again. Maybe we should just go and trade some pumpkins. Give me a second. Let me do that quickly. Okay, so as I was saying, we've been trading quite a bit with the villagers, but it seems that it does take quite a bit of time. So I'm thinking, for today, let's see if we can get a little bit of a pop of color into this area and set up a few farmer stalls here, a little bit of a farmer's market in this area where we can just quickly find a few farmers to trade with. But before we get into that, I want to show you a little something that I think looks really nice in this world. Now, when I started this episode, I almost welcomed you to Hermitcraft, and as we all know, I'm not a hermit. I don't want to be a hermit. Well, any Minecraft creator, I think, would like to be a hermit at some time, but not me now, not now. But tell me in the comments, any of you watch Hermitcraft? I've been watching quite a bit of it lately, and I've seen this one little thing that B-Dubs has been doing, and it looks pretty cool. You see the little berry bushes in the boat? He did it in his base in Hermitcraft Season 10, and I thought, well, that looks nice. Why don't I use it in my world? Now let me show you. You can do it with berry bushes, wheat, and quite a few other plants as well. And it's quite simple to do. Let me go and demonstrate because I've got somewhere where I think I would like to do this. Let's say right in this area over here, and I'm going to do it with tall, dry grass. So we put the grass down, we put a boat down, and we simply get in the boat and row the boat and row the boat, and I think this is about perfect. Oh my, just have a look at that. A nice little addition to the floral decorations in and around the base. Now, let me go over to the sheep farm, see if I can get a little bit more wool, because I'm going to need some wool for the farmer's market, and then I will see if I can get it looking decent. You know, there is this phrase, proper planning prevents poor performance. The 5 Ps. And that is a concept that I definitely haven't gotten together yet. Because this took way longer to build than it should have. And that's all up to poor planning. Or no planning. I didn't have the resources, I had to run up and down, collecting what I needed, and it meant that this took an enormous long time. But it's all sorted now, and I think this came out really cozy, nice, awesome. Now we've got a few more villages that we can trade with. 6 to be exact, so now we've got 8, 10, 12, 13 villages to trade with. I think our crops are never going to keep up with the demand. Something that I do find weird, strange and funny. So these guys are harvesting the potatoes, right? Yes, Evelyn, you are harvesting the potatoes. Then you put the potatoes into this hopper, right, Evelyn? Don't run away. I want to get something. I want to know something. So you harvest the potatoes, you put the potatoes in the hopper. Yeah, yes, I think you know where this is going. Then I bring the potatoes back and sell it to you, and you pay me in emeralds. Yes? Ah, yes. I don't know how this economy is working, but it's working for me. Anyway, let's have a look at these little market stalls that I have built. So a simple little concept. I've got, start off with a composter right there so that these guys can pick up a job. I've got a little trapdoor countertop here. I surrounded it with fences, and then we've got a little bit of a iron bar and a mix of chains because I didn't want the bars to connect to each other here at the back. This is more supports to keep the roof up. And then just brightly colored roofs, which I think just adds a nice little pop of color to this area. And when we are standing down here with that grey crop silo behind it, it just adds a little bit of color, breaking the grey just a tiny little bit. Now I still need to put in a path here, and I think what I'll do, I'll just continue this path idea that I've had coming through around these farms. I'll just continue this path through here, but just a little bit of a smaller version of it. Just running through here, veering off to this side so that we can get to this villager Noreen down here, and then continuing on this way so that even Tasha could be in on the profits, or paying for the profits. And then what else? I think we do need to set up a little bit of decoration over here, and I want to, at the back of these farms, build sort of a hedge, because on this side, this dirt building is going to have to change to something more appealing to the eyes, don't you think? Anyway, I think the first step would be to do the path, and then I'm going to build a few more trees like this. Just small trees, nothing fancy, just basics, and I think I could just as well build one with all of you. So I think right about here. Yes. Again, poor planning. You'll see what I mean. I'll be right back. Alright, so we've decided we're going to put one of these smaller little trees right about here. Now, how I do this, and I might have seen this somewhere, I'm not 100% sure how I got to this idea, but we put a little composter in the ground. We fill it up until it's nice and full. There you go. And then we just add oops, oops, oops. That wasn't supposed to happen. Anyway, let's try again. I think this time I'll place the fence first. Then we'll fill up this little composter. There you go, that's better. And then we'll just build the fence up a little bit. Now this tree is going to have to be a little bit taller because I do want to see these guys still, but we can do a little something like this, and let's see, maybe add another fence this side and then another one on top. Then I do really like these mangrove leaves. But just to add a little pop of color, I also want to use these azalea leaves in the tree. And now this tree is a little high, so we need to get up there, and we'll start from the top. We'll just fill it in with leaves, like so. This side, and I think then we could add a few of these azalea leaves, just for a little pop of color. And just a little something like that. I think I do still need maybe just one more of these flowering azalea leaves in here. Is that even the right name? Yes, flowering azalea leaves. And there you have it, a nice little tree. And just to help with the lighting in the area, I don't think we need it really, but just add a little lantern in the tree just to make sure our lighting is proper. I think let me add a few more trees and maybe put in that little path we spoke about. Now this looks really much better, I think. I do find it a little bit hard to do the decorating and the terrain decorations with the flowers, but I went around, just placed a few leaves on the floor, on the ground, a few flowers and pots, and then just a few of these empty big pots standing around. I think that just makes it look a little bit more natural, and I really like it. Let me know down in the comments what you think, but this is coming along nicely. I did try to use different colors of fences throughout just to break the monotony of only having one color of fence, and these little trees of ours just makes the area pop a little bit more. I don't want any massive big trees in the area because I think that will just overshadow everything else. So now that we do have this little farming area set up and working properly, I do want to show you something else that I came across while digging out the pit. Oh my goodness! Just look at that wandering trader. Did he spawn down there? Because surely if he spawned up here and fell down, he wouldn't have survived. But before I go down, let me just go and grab a few emeralds, because these guys do sometimes have a few good trades which I'm always interested in. So anyway, as I said, we've been digging this pit down, and I have found something which I want to show you, and I need to figure out a way to get to it in a safe manner. But while we're coming down here, you'll see we've got a few glow squid spawning in this little underground water area, and that's where I've been getting glow ink sacks. But anyway, first things first, let's go and have a look at what this wandering trader has for us. So I haven't bought any of these mini blocks yet. This is a data pack that's available on Vanilla Tweaks, but I haven't used any of it yet. I think maybe later we'll look into it. Now, unfortunately, we've got access to all of these things that this guy has to offer. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Are you okay? He seems to be okay, at least. Anyway, so what I wanted to show you, if we go down here and we just up over here, Now you'll see I have placed a few torches. Hello. No, 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 no. Oops. This isn't good. Oh my word, those things do hurt. No, 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 no. I'm so bad at this. No. Oh my word, if I don't... These guys could just stop interrupting me. I can actually show you. It's right over here. Let's just deal with this little guy. So yeah, we've got a little geode. And I haven't had any amethysts yet, but here's going to be a good source for it. Now I would imagine that these amethysts has been growing while I've been digging our pit, so it should be pretty full and ready to be harvested already. But now the challenge is, how do we easily access this? Because as you saw, there's quite a few evil critters spawning in this little area. But I was thinking, if we, because eventually we'll have access through here, so if we could just maybe dig a little tunnel through here, and we should be able to get a really good access point for it. Okay, yes, something like this will just bring it into the pit, and eventually we'll have easy access. But that, my friends, is going to be a project for a different day, because I think we have to call it here for this episode. And if you enjoyed it, which I really do hope you did, please remember to subscribe to the channel, leave a like and leave a comment as to any opinions you might have for what I can change, what I could do different, or what I should do next. Now, as you see, I'm trying to not move too far this side, because I've already gone ahead and started on the next project, which I don't want to spoil right now. So, before I do that, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I will definitely see you in the next one. Goodbye. Hello everyone and welcome back to Minecraft. My name's Henry Yu, and in the last episode I got a little bit carried away and didn't keep an eye on how long the episode is getting, so I had to, well, I started on the new project before the end of the previous episode. But that's the thing. I am finding the joy in Minecraft again, and that is not a bad thing. What is the joy in Minecraft, you might ask? And the answer is simply just playing Minecraft. Finding the little things, doing projects like the marketplace there to the left of the screen. These guys have been so helpful in helping me regain experience and fixing my tools and everything, but now we need to do a new build, something that is a little bit more pleasing to the eye, because I haven't built anything nice yet. Everything I've built so far was functional. And that's not a bad thing. That's definitely not a bad thing. It is a good thing. But let me explain what I've got in store next. So next up, what I want to try and do is look into a little something that we do here, replacing this dirt house, which is our villager breeder, with something that's more aesthetically pleasing. Now, the build palette idea I've got in mind, I don't know if any of you know the Cape Dutch build style. It's really very white buildings, and for that I might need to get some concrete, white concrete, concrete powder, and probably deep slate for the trims. Maybe, just maybe we can use a little bit of bone blocks as well. I'm not sure. Quartz, bone blocks, white concrete, maybe mushroom stems, which I don't have, but I'm sure I can grow some mushrooms. How difficult could that be? Maybe we should try that and see if those sort of blocks work well together. So I guess I've got a lot of preparation to do because, as I said earlier, proper preparation prevents poor performance, and this time I want to be prepared. Alright, so I think I'm ready for the walls at least. As you can see, we've dug out this amethyst geode, and oh my, sounds like we've got visitors. Let me just get up here. So anyway, we've dug out this amethyst geode. I've gathered some mushroom stems, and I made some white concrete. So I think I've got all the resources I'm going to need. I've got a few stacks of concrete and 2 stacks of concrete powder. I've got some quartz which I traded with our villager. I've got a little bit of calcite, and I've got almost 3 stacks of mushroom stems. That's all the white blocks I think I will need. Maybe, just maybe, we should look into adding a little bit of stripped pale oak. Maybe just get 1, 2, 3 stacks of that and go and add it to our little pile over here. Now I think I'm going to need to move this pile closer because we're going to build right over in that area, and I will need to mark out the space. But I think this area is going to be really, well, I don't think, I know I did measure it out, but I need to figure out, number one, the shape I'm going to need to build in, and number two, I'm going to need to figure out the floor plan. And since I've got these red mushroom blocks, I can use that to just mark out a little bit of an area where we're going to build this house. So let's see what we can figure out. So I'm thinking of starting it around about here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to roughly about here, and then the main house will be up to this area. Maybe we'll just check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in between. That's good. And then maybe we can have a small little piece coming out this side, Oops. Do it like that, 3 by 3. And then this side will also have that same 3 by 3 going 1, 2, 3 there. Like so. Let's just see what that looks like. I think this is going to be awesome. So I'm thinking this is going to be the floor plan. If you have any understanding of what I've just tried to explain, but let me go and grab the materials and start building up the walls. For now, I'm going to build up the walls just basic with one block, maybe concrete, and then later on we'll come in and texture it a little bit, add the windows and so forth. So let me get going, enjoy the time lapse, and I'll see you on the other side. All right, everyone. I've finished this little house, and I must say, I think it looks pretty awesome. Now, one thing that I do have to say, the white concrete just did not work. It had too much of a greyish tint, and we've got a lot of grey in this area already, so I didn't want to. The white concrete, no, it just did not work. Enough said about that. So if we walk through quickly, I've got a few nice decorations up. I've got a few berry bushes in front of the windows. I've got these two little trees, just smallish trees, up in the courtyard with some foliage and flowers and leaves on the ground and all that. Now, I was watching, and you guys should know by now, I do really enjoy B00's videos, and he came up with, in building with B-dubs, the first episode. It came out about, what, like 4 years ago already? But he did a little something for the window shutters where you use two trap doors with signs on the inside, and I think that looks really nice for window shutters. And I've also got these the middle windows. I couldn't, putting shutters on them just felt a little bit too much, so I just got this small little awning over these windows. And then up there, those windows on the top floor, and I'll show you around back as well. I've just got these little awnings over these windows. I felt that I didn't want to do too much on them because I really didn't want to overdo it, you know? Anyway, let's just walk around back and then I can show you the rest of what we've done on this little house. On the sides, I've just got these little pink cactus flowers with a little smallish tree growing between the windows. I think this really does round off the sides pretty well. The pink leaves with the white always looks nice. And as you might have noticed, as I said, the white concrete just didn't work. So I depleted my oak logs and used the stripped, what is it now, pale oak logs. I used the stripped pale oak logs for the walls of this building, and I think that came out really nice. Now, while it's becoming dark, the back of the build, because the sunflowers faces in this direction, is it west? Is it west? Westernly direction, they all face in the same direction, but this side I've just got a little bit of yellow flowerage covering the ground. Now, I didn't do too much foliage on this side because I don't really know what I want to do this side yet. So that's basically the outside of the build. I think it came out really well, and if we have a quick overview using the free cam, I think this house just looks so pretty and cozy in this area. I do love the pop of color that this market is adding, and it came out, I think, honestly speaking, I think it came out better than I expected it to. Now, if we take a little gander to the inside of the build, where I think it will be no surprise it's not decorated yet. Now, I haven't done any decorating in here because the idea when I started this build was to sort of set this up as the villager breeder area. A manual breeder, as I've been breeding villagers manually up to now. I think that works for me. I don't need too many, and I like being in control of the number of villagers that we do breed. But I think I'm going to have to figure out a way to set up the villager breeder in here. So I think this side might be ideal for the villager breeder. Now, another problem that I keep thinking of is if we breed villagers in here, how are we going to get them outside? And I guess that will be a problem for a different day, right? Yes, that will be a problem for a different day. I'm not going to worry about it too much for now. Going upstairs, we've just got a little landing area right here and then two smaller rooms. I might just set up a bedroom for myself here and maybe a little bit of a storage area on the other side. I'm not 100% sure yet as to the plans for this upstairs. I might just maybe just decorate it a little bit and leave it be. That is the progress that I've made so far on this little house. Now I think the next thing would be for me to start doing the interior and figure out if we are going to use it for the villager breeder or if I'm just going to decorate it and use it for myself. Now, if I do decide to use it for myself, we are going to have another problem. This dirt box where our two breeding villages are situated. They are sitting in here, just in a little boat with a torch, Trent and Rosanna, just to keep them safe. But this box will have to go away, and I'm not sure. Maybe I was thinking maybe we could breed the villagers inside the silo there, but I don't really want to. I'm afraid that that might influence the iron farm over there. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of thinking and maybe a little bit of decorating, and then we will see how it turns out. So here we are, and you will immediately notice I removed the trees in front of the house. I felt that they were just obscuring the beauty of this build a little bit too much. And then, as you can hear, our villagers are still around. But if you have a little look this side, I removed the dirt box. And I just dropped the villagers below ground for now. We will come and get them out, because I've got an idea as to where I'm going to put the villager breeder. And you might be surprised, or maybe you wouldn't, but this little house, which we originally built to house the villager breeder, yes, even with the decorations, I'm still going to do it. Now, let's go inside and have a proper look at what I've done with the decorations. Because, honestly speaking, decorating is not my strong suit. And decorating this house took me probably about 4 hours in real life. And that's just too much. But anyway, let's turn around, go inside, and have a look. So when we go in the door, you are immediately faced with a creeper. But don't worry, this one is totally harmless. To the left, we've got another painting. I put quite a few paintings in here. And then another painting of the two villagers that's going to be responsible for breeding all the other villagers will ever need. To the left, we've got a little lounge with a lot more paintings. I used these two beds, just gave them a bit of a backrest to make them look like couches. We've got a barrel and we've got a bookshelf. So in this bookshelf, the book in there is just an empty book for now, but maybe we can journal something in there. And yeah, we've got a map of our world at the moment. Here's our little house, there's the pit, our iron farm, our farmer villages with the farmer's market right there, and then to this corner we've got the original village. Right in here we've got a little kitchen area with another painting. This painting looks like maybe it could be something to do with food. A little bit of storage and a few pieces of meat on drying racks next to the cooker, ready to be toasted or fried or fried or barbecued or whatever the term is where you are from. I've got this little armor stand here with my very first iron sword and my very first iron armor, and over here you will see a little bit of a, well, it's supposed to be a dining room table, but there's all sorts of things scattered on the table. Got a nice big clock going on here. Now, a lot of these things I'm doing with the Armor Poser mod. It's one of the few mods that I do use, and I haven't played with it a lot, but I really am enjoying the freedom it gives you in terms of displaying items. later on in a different episode I might just show you a little bit of how it works. But for now, if I can find the armor stand, um, well, I can't find it now. Let's see if I can find the clock. There you go. Shift right click will open this interface, and you can see there's the little armor stand. We just made it invisible. And the awesome thing of the new ambient sounds in Minecraft is that you can, if you have a few of these flowers, you can, I think, where's the sound? I think these ones are making the sounds when it gets dark outside. So you, even if you're inside, you will always know when it's starting to get dark. So this side is just a little entranceway with another painting, a lady praying to a skeleton or whatever she may be doing. And then going upstairs, we've got 2 bedrooms and first of all, we've got a little workspace here with some storage. The storage is empty and I don't think I will ever store anything in here. And then we've got a bedroom on this side and a bedroom on the other side. Nothing fancy, just 2 little bedrooms for maybe myself, maybe some guests, who knows, whatever. While I think about what to do with those 2 villagers outside, I'm going to call you farewell for now. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I think we made quite a bit of progress and we've made this beautiful house, and I will see you in the next one. But please, before you go, please remember to subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button, because if you're still watching, I would assume you did enjoy this episode. And leave a comment. Anything in the comments is fine. Suggestions, comments, ideas, whatever you can think of, leave them down there, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's episode I've got a little special planned for you. This is our 500-day special on this world. This seed that I got from the Hermitcraft Season 10 series. What makes it really interesting to me is that when I'm watching Hermitcraft Season 10 and I see especially the first few videos of every creator, I see what they do with the space that I've got, and comparing my own builds to that. Now, truly speaking, I cannot compare. These guys have been at it for years and years, honing their craft and making it better. But anyway, it is interesting to me and I am enjoying it quite a lot. Now, in today's episode, wait, before we get to that, you can hear the villagers, and I did go ahead and do the villager breeder area. Now, as I said, it is a manual breeder, but if we open one of these trapdoors, you can see the villagers down there. Oh, I can't see anyone, but they are there. And I've put these trapdoors here so that I can feed the villagers to get them to breed. Ah, there's the villagers, you see. Now I'm just going to dump all this bread in there so that they can maybe start breeding. So let me quickly show you what the breeder area at the bottom looks like. Alright, to get back to today's episode, which is the 500 day special, so we are just going to go through what we've done, what we have accomplished over the last 500 days. Now this little map of the area, I did lock this map because this is the 500 day base map and I don't want to have it updated. I'm thinking that maybe every 500 days we can do a new map and see how the area progresses. Now the major project of this world up to now has been the pit. Now the pit is an area I want to dig out down to bedrock because I've got an idea as to what I want to do there, but the idea cannot take shape before we actually get to bedrock. So far we have just passed level 0. Now the block you see behind me is the world center block, or let's call it the Genesis block. This block is at coordinates 0, 0, 0. And I'm going to collect this block because I think this block is going to have a special place in this world. And I have made sure that I don't have any blocks in my inventory so that we don't mix this block up with any other blocks. But now I'm going to just have to, this is deep. This is deep, but I guess we still have about the same number of blocks to go down, because if we are on -3 at the moment, just past 0, that means we've got another 50 layers to go, and without Haze Beacon, it takes about 10 minutes per layer, 30 minutes for every 3 layers, because I'm taking it down 3 layers at a time. And yes, I know, I can go and kill a wither and get the Haze Beacon and make the process quicker, but I'm a grinder and I am enjoying the grind. Every time when I'm a little bit stuck with what to do, or where the creative juices just aren't flowing the way it's supposed to, I come down here, I dig down a layer, maybe 2 layers or 3 layers, and by that time the inspiration is back. But now, before we mess up this Genesis block, let's just go and maybe rename it. Zero, 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 or the Genesis block. Now, I just need to make sure I store this somewhere where I don't accidentally use it in something which I shouldn't be doing. Now, we also made a few friends in the series so far. The first one, the most important, well, not most important, but really important to me, is Bella the cat. Now Bella has been really helpful. Every time I go to sleep in this bed, Bella brings me something, a little present, a little gift once I wake up. And some of the gifts includes zombie flesh, phantom membranes. I've got 5 and I haven't killed a single phantom in this world. She brings me feathers as well as rabbit hide, and she also brings me rabbit's foot. Now 20 rabbit's foot, and considering that I haven't killed any rabbits, 20 is impressive. I mean, all I had to do to get those rabbit's feet was sleep. Anyway, let's look at our other friends. I recently acquired Donkey because I did want to get a mule. Now the mule isn't named yet, and if any of you have good name suggestions for our mule, I would be happy for you to post it in the comments. Then we can maybe get this guy a name. Then over here, old One-Timer. One-Timer was the first horse I tamed in this series, and I don't think I've ever went on a journey with him. He's just too slow. And then we've got Socks. So I named him Socks because if you just have a look at his feet, it looks like he's wearing socks. So in the first episode of the series, I really decided that I would like to rush through a few things, basically get the early game basics done and sorted and out of the way. So one of the first things we did was make this little iron farm, and it's been producing. If I tell you it's been producing, oh my goodness, you must just see the amount of iron that I've gathered so far. In this chest over here, where all the iron is collected, you can see there's more than 18 stacks of iron ingots already. And then what I do, every now and then I collect the iron from there, I go to my crafting table, I block them up, and this is the iron we've gathered so far. That's obviously minus the ones that I've used up to now, but we've almost got a full chest of stacks of iron blocks. Now that is profits. Another thing that we did early on in the first episode was setting up this little villager breeder area and getting a few villagers to work for us. We've got a farmer villager that gave us golden carrots really early on. We've got a little cleric where I've gotten most of the redstone and the glowstone that I needed for this world so far. And then we've got our weaponsmith, what is it? We've got our toolsmith, weaponsmith and armorer, who has been very helpful in helping us get our diamond armor and tools. Now these guys have been breeding over here, and as you can see, they are well protected. Anyway, this villager breeder, I only used it early on in the series because transporting the villagers from here all the way to the base up there is not a very pleasant task. Then another objective from episode 1 was to get diamonds, and we were able to go down this little ravine behind me, and we got all the diamonds we needed for early game Minecraft right from this little space down here. Got a few pieces of gold and a couple of pieces of iron as well, but that was a turning point. Now I had the diamonds, I had the iron. In episode 2, we focused on farming, and I wanted automatic crop farms so that I don't need to go and plant and harvest crops myself, and these guys came in really handy. We set up our carrot farm, a beetroot farm, a potato farm, and we got the wheat farm. Now these farms, all three of these, the carrots, the beetroots and the potatoes, we've got a farmer harvesting the crops, passing the crops to another farmer, and the hopper down here would collect the crops. On the other hand, with the wheat farm, we had to install the noisy one, the one with the minecart down underground. But that's not too much of a worry because as soon as we move a little bit further away, the sounds go all the way away, and we don't need to listen to that minecart all the time. getting to episode 3, we started working on the pumpkin and melon farm. And this is just a simple farm with observers and pistons. So once the observer sees that the pumpkin or melon has grown, it fires a piston, and then underneath all of that is a minecart that collects all the drops. The next challenge was, how do we get the drops from the various farms to a central point where we can collect everything? And we installed a few of these dropper systems that just drops the crops into a water stream, and the water stream takes it to a central point where we can just collect all of our goodies. The goodies will be transported, as you can see, up this water column to the top here, where we've got a few auto sorters sorting out all the different crops. When we go down a little bit further down, we have installed an autocrafter to just take all the melon slices and autocraft them into melons, because who wants to do that manually? And all the crops are stored in this little chest monster down here, and we can access them very easily from the outside. Now if we have a look, the melons are almost full. Pumpkins, we've got more than a barrel. Potatoes, we've got more than a barrel. Beetroot seems to be one of the slower crops to gather, but it's coming along. Carrots, we've got more than a barrel, and wheat, we've got half a barrel. Now before any of you start with me, I know I can also autocraft the wheat into hay bales, but I didn't want to do that because the wheat, for the most part, I'm using it to make bread to breed the villagers, and I'm also using it to breed animals. So having them autocrafted into hay bales, and then I need to uncraft it again back into wheat, just felt like a little bit of a waste of time to me. In episode 4, we worked on this little crop silo storage building, and even though it's a lot of stone and a lot of grey, I think the plans that I've got for the area will make it not look too bad. And anyway, looking at it as it is, it looks good, it looks decent, even though I still have a problem with the roof. The roof just doesn't work for me completely, but for now I guess it's functional, it works, and that's the most important part. So by this time, at the end of episode 4, we've got automated crops, we've got storage for those crops, and then the next challenge presented itself as to we need an easy way to trade the crops, and that's why I built this little farmers market. We've got quite a few farmers in here. I think we've got 7 farmers here close to the crop storage for easy trades. Now I didn't pay too particular attention to what each of them trades, because we've got in total, including the working farmers, we've got 13 farmers ready to trade, and that is where we got all our emeralds from, and most of the experience that we used to enchant our gear and tools and things. So all in all, episode 5 was just building a little something to make our life more convenient. Now, I said we've got quite a few emeralds, and for those that don't believe me, just have a look. We've almost got 3 stacks of blocks of emerald. Now, I realize I'm not filthy rich yet, but I think those emeralds, I've used a lot of them as well to buy quartz and redstone and golden carrots and stuff. So all in all, we are making profit on emeralds. And then we come to the final build, the build we did in episode 6, this little white farmhouse. I took a lot of inspiration from the Cape Dutch build style. If you care to look it up on Google, you'll see that the houses are usually very white with black roofs, either straw roofs or black tiled roofs, whatever is available, and this house turned out really well. I didn't want to do too much decoration outside, but I think the garden in the courtyard looks really nice. Initially I had 2 trees up here, but I felt that they just hid too much of the build. And when we have a look inside, I have decorated it with a few armor stands and a few other thingamabobs and what have you. And that is where our map wall is. The day 500 base map. And in the basement of this little farmhouse, we've got our villager breeder, which I wonder if these villagers has made us any babies yet. So let's go and have a look. Oh yes, there is a baby. Oh well, it's not a baby anymore. It has grown up, but we have 3 villagers, and that's going to come in useful when we build the next build where we need a villager or 2. Maybe librarians, maybe stonemasons, maybe clerics. I don't know yet, but we have plans. We've got plans for the next 500 days, and then there will be plans going even further than that. But now that all of you are caught up with what we've been up to for the last 500 days, let's have a little look at the project board behind me, where I'm going to just make notes of the plans for the next 500 days. Now, I'm not saying all of these projects are going to be completed in the next 500 days. And I'm not saying that this is all we are going to work on for the next 500 days. But this will be here to keep me motivated and keep me on the straight path. Because this area that we have here, even though it is coming along really nicely, there's still a lot of work to be done. And I'm not one that is scared to get the work done. But now let's quickly have a look at what the next 500 days is going to have in store for us. And the first thing is going to be to continue our work on the pit. I mean, bedrock is still about 50 blocks away, and we will just mark this one in yellow as that's an ongoing project in the background. Whenever I have time to dig a little bit, I will continue with it, and hopefully by the end of the 500 days we are down to bedrock. The next project I think I want to get going with is an animal barn with wool farm and animal pens. Because seriously, going all the way over there to collect wool has become quite a bit of a chore, and if not, why not? I think to decorate and all that we are going to need plenty of wool of all colors, and the wool farm will just make that process all that much easier. Then another project that I've got planned is making an XP and bone block farm using potatoes and cactus. because getting experience from trading with our farmer villagers has been good for now, but it's not something that is sustainable. I want a more sustainable way of experience farm, and I think if the bone meal or if the potatoes and the cactus runs in the background, it will be a little bit more, well, satisfying and easier to get experience without having to trade for it. But now I see that black cat, and I've been wanting a black cat for a while, so I'll be right back with you guys. I don't have any fish to tame this guy, but I will just keep him here for now. I'll go and catch a few fish later on, so that we can make this one our friend and give Bella a little life partner, so to say. The next project I've got in mind is a library tower with librarians, because even though we've got all our tools and armor enchanted, that's not to say we are never going to lose any of it. So I think we need to build a little tower and populate it with librarians. But anyway, that's the next project I've got in mind. Another project I've got in mind is to rework the original village. I have seen a few pictures of the Cape Malay build style. Very colourful and simple houses, and I'm thinking that might be a good idea for the village. So that is also on the board. I believe that's going to just add a little more colour to this world of ours. It has also become quite a pain dealing with wood collection. So another project will be a tree farm with automatic sorting and collection capabilities. The one thing with chopping down trees manually, the one thing that really gets on my nerves is inventory keep getting full, and I need to run around storing items before I can continue chopping trees, and that is about to stop because we are going to build a simple tree farm. Nothing fully automated or anything, but just a little farm where if I chop down the trees, they will drop into a water stream, maybe get collected and sorted, and that way I believe I will save a little bit of time. So the tree farm with the automated collection and sorting system is also up on the board. Our storage system that we've just got out here in the open has been getting on my nerves as well. So another project I want to look into is a valuable sorting and storage complex, which will be combined here with the iron farm, I think. And that's another exciting idea I've got, and I can't really explain how I want to do it. Maybe when we get to it, I will give you an idea before I actually build it. But that's also going to be a very exciting project coming up. And one of the last projects I've been thinking of is building a little dock and fishermen houses so that we can get a few fishermen villages as well into this world to make it, just to give it a little bit more life. So to that side where that massive lake is, I think this is going to be another nice smallish project that we could take on that will give just a little bit more life to the area. Now you will notice that there is one empty sign behind me, and what I want you to do is think of a project that you think we should add in this world and leave it in the comments. Let me know what you would want to see in my little Minecraft world. Now I have to say, I'm not necessarily going to build anything you suggest, please keep in mind my skill and what you've seen me do in this series so far. Because I'm still learning. I've been playing Minecraft for so long, but I'm learning new things every day. So maybe have a look at my videos, think about it, and then make a suggestion that might challenge me a little bit, but is still within my capabilities. Alright everyone, and thank you for those of you that stuck around all through this video. And if you did, remember, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like if you did like the episode, and feel free to leave a comment down below. Until next time, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you again very, very soon. Goodbye. And that, my friends, is the journey so far. I hope you really did enjoy it, and if you came this far into the video, I'm sure you could at least leave a like and a subscribe to the channel. Remember, we are heading towards 1,000 subscribers, and I am just about halfway there. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you again soon in the next episode, and happy building. Goodbye.